Good night. It's the 30th of January 2022. You're welcome back. It's a Sunday night. The weather is cold for Ireland. It's not ice out, but it's cold. It's that sort of weather we get in the new year. That is, you need heating. I tell you, anywhere in the northern hemisphere. This is 41p, and it's on uncontrolled migration. And who is to blame? Now, a while back I did a video, 16A. You see it there. I've only a very light marker. 16A anyway. And it was on the attitude of the Irish government to Assi Bibi, a Christian lady who has been persecuted. And with the exception of a man called Patrick Manning and Brendan Howlin, who was the TD for Labour, and myself, nobody backed her. I mean, they wouldn't let her into Ireland. That's how far we're gone. I remember the time they'd talk about her being persecuted and all this and her Christian faith. She eventually got into Canada. So that's what we're living in. And the Green leader, Eamon Ryan, wants 5 million migrants into Ireland, and he didn't want her. This is the way it is, and this is our neighbours. These are people want. But anyway, there has been crimes. I won't mention any particular crime. We have unfortunately recently had crimes, and we had terrible outpouring and people losing their lives and attacked and all that. And because they're before the courts, we leave that at that. We'll say no more. But I want to just tell you how it was. Up until 2004, a British citizen or an Irish citizen could come into Ireland without any vetting or anything. So if there were criminals from London, let's say, or Britain, and they were coming over here, the police might notify our Gardaí or the police service of Northern Ireland. There'd be some little watch kept, but by and large, a British citizen, because we have a traditional common travel arrangement going back hundreds of years with Britain. There never was immigration controls between the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland or Britain. And it was never a problem, because it's easy contacting British police and they can contact here and all that. So there was never any problem with that. And then the EU decided from 2004 all EU citizens could come in here. Now they'll tell you there was it's protection for criminals. That's baloney. Now what used to happen in every town, in every big town in Ireland, usually every district headquarters. So in Cavan Monaghan it'd be Monaghan, Cavan, Carrickmacross, Ballyconnell, which is now in with Cavan, and Ballyborough. And likewise in Westmeath there'd be Mullingar, and Athlone there'd be a superintendent there, and Granard used to have one as well. And so there'd be anywhere there was a superintendent, a district headquarters with staff. People wanting to come into the country, they might be from Pakistan, they might be doctors, they could be from Africa. They went through the Gardaí and the Department of Justice, and there was a close watch kept. And those people used to say they couldn't believe how they could come into a Garda station and sit down and be brought into a room and processed and be treated humanely, and sometimes maybe even a cup of tea on the job. So there was never any rancour. And in Cavan district, that'd be about 40% or 45% of the population of Cavan County. Only 2 were sent back in 16 years. And they were sent back because they were totally unsuitable. They were probably dangerous, whatever it was. By and large, people didn't try it on. They were coming here, they were genuine people. They were students or whatever, and there was never a problem. But then the EU decided from 2004, any Tom, Dick and Harry who was from the EU could come in. Not alone that, but the EU started shoving in migrants who arrived in Germany and other places. Excuse me. Who arrived in Germany from Germany and other places, and they distribute them around the EU. So we lost the little bit of advantage we had of being an island nation on the periphery of Europe, because they could horse these in, and in every town in Ireland they're there. There's no vetting whatsoever. Nobody knows who they are or what they are. And the other thing is that in a lot of the countries where these people come from, crime against women, killing men are commonplace. There's nothing thought of a murder in a lot of countries. In a lot of countries, they're not even investigated. That's the hard fact. Now that brings me to the outcry about when crimes happen and my attitude to it, which is very hard. There's no easy way around this. But when people whinge, oh, isn't that terrible? Oh, isn't that terrible? This, that, and that, I turn around and say, you're to blame. And they don't like it. They don't like it. But we have to do this. How am I to blame? Anyone who votes Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Labour, any of those left-wing parties in Dublin, Greens, and Sinn Féin get no exception. They're into this big time. Keevin Keelan in Cavan was bringing in migrants into Cavan to vote for him 30 years ago. 25 anyway. So anyone that votes for these people is guilty of recklessness. In other words, they're saying, sure, look, at me vote doesn't count. But everyone knows all the parties are for uncontrolled mass migration, and they want to do this and they don't care what the consequences are. And so I do tell them straight, it's your fault. Let them take it any way they like. And I would encourage all my viewers, do the same. They'll be whinging about, isn't that terrible? Put it back to them. You went into the ballot box. We don't know who you voted for generally, although I know most who they vote for, but you voted for the parties that wants to let in uncontrolled, totally unvetted criminals, many of them, into Ireland. Now, not all people are criminals. I'm not against any of the people from Eastern Europe, great people who came here. They'd have come in anyway. The procedure would have let them in. The guards would know the minute they talk to them what they're like. But that's what I say. It's our friends, it's our neighbours who are guilty of these crimes. And it's going to happen again and again. You could have maybe July this year, some person killed by a migrant. In America, it's unbelievable. I mean, they're actually killing policemen and everything over there. And that's going to happen here as well. So that's my view on it. People mightn't like it. I don't care whether they like it or not. But I know when you're in company and you're at a funeral or a wedding or something, you don't like to be ugly to people. It's not very popular. Although, when I throw this up at people, they don't seem to object to it. I think they know it's right. But the connection is not made between marking the ballot paper with the biro or the pen, marking the ballot paper with a number 1, 2, and 3, and the consequences of doing that. In America, they voted for Biden, and the Taliban are running around Afghanistan with the best of weapons, and actually the very best of stuff, all stolen from America. They just walked off the job. That's the consequences of what this woke cultural Marxist agenda does. Folks, I'll let you go. You can comment underneath whether you like it or not. I say your neighbours, your friends, the people of Ireland are guilty of the depredation being done by criminal migrants who are allowed into this country without any vetting or any proper Garda supervision or government supervision whatsoever. They mightn't like it. That's what I say. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and you know they're guilty. Look at them. I didn't think it'd matter, you know. I said, voted for me. He came to me granny's funeral. Oh God, I didn't like them doing that, you know. I just said, to hell with you. You think you can do that? Every one of you is the same. You're guilty. You are guilty. The same as if you did it yourself. That's it, folks. See ya. Bye. Good luck.